Welcome back. This is my, I don't know if you want to call it 1,000 subscribers special. I just can't tell you how excited I am. I guess in the grand scheme of YouTube, 1,000 subscribers is like small potatoes, but that's like really, really big potatoes to me. And I think it's incredible and want to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed. Thank you to commenters. I'm so glad that the content that I'm putting out is helpful, entertaining, useful to you. If this is your first time here, my name is Holland Morgan. On YouTube, I go by Cosmo Dad, and I am a professional cosmetologist and cosmetology educator. I work behind the chair. I take clients here in Austin, Texas, but I also travel around the state of Texas teaching advanced skills to stylists in salons. On this channel, I cover hair science, hair cosmetic science. I sometimes try things out that I've never tried before. I try hair myths. I see if some of the homespun ways that people do things are really effective versus not. I think that hairstylists need to be critical thinkers, and I try to approach things in a scientific way. But I also do hair tutorials and just other hair information as well. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do it, and I'll make an extra special video once I get to 10K. Today, I was actually thinking about potatoes. I was thinking small potatoes, big potatoes. What can I do that's hair related that involves potatoes? So in thinking about what potatoes have to do with hair care, it made me think of Conk. Now, if you've never heard of Conk, that's not a big deal. It's not something anybody should be doing. It was the original relaxer. When I say relaxer, I'm talking about a hair product that takes curly hair and makes it straighter. If you watched my video on the Crown Act, you should understand my stance and kind of where I'm at on relaxers. If you're somebody who enjoys relaxing your hair, you like the look, you like what it does for you, that's fine. If you're somebody who feels like you need to relax your hair in order to fit in, I'm sorry. It shouldn't be that way. All over this world it's like that, and it really shouldn't be. And we have a very, very long history of shaming people for their hair, especially the Black community. We tell them you can't wear your hair like this, you can't wear your hair like this. Like every institution from the military on down has at some point in history, if not very, very recently or currently, tried to control the way that Black people wear their hair. When I did my video on the Crown Act just a few months ago, there were 7 states that outlawed hair discrimination. Since then, one more state has passed the Crown Act. Here in Texas, it's still in debate. I don't know what there is to debate, but seriously, reach out to your lawmakers. This isn't a law in every state. This should be a federal law. There's no reason we should be able to tell people, you can't wear your hair in a natural style. You can't wear your hair in locks. You have to wear your hair essentially like a white person. Not cool. We need to cut it out. So back to Conk. Conk was the original hair relaxer. I don't know who came up with it. I'd been hearing about the recipe. It was sodium hydroxide and potatoes, essentially. People would put on their naturally curly hair. It would burn their scalp, but their hair would get straighter so that it could be combed back or laid down. Once again, this is not a tutorial on how to make this. This is just me just being curious because I'd always wanted to do this. In trying to look up recipes of how people made this, I actually found the most description of it in the autobiography of Malcolm X, as told by Alex Haley. And he described his friend using 2 potatoes, 2 eggs, and half a jar of Red Devil lye, sodium hydroxide. I actually used to have a jar of Red Devil brand lye. He cut the potato up, put it in a jar, poured half a jar of lye on it, and then stirred in an egg. It didn't mention that he used water. If I'm trying to think back to the Malcolm X movie, which was not an exact description of what happened in the book, I think they did use water. I don't know. Let's get mixing. It should go without saying, but don't do this at home. I am doing this at my own risk, and I expect this concoction to be foul enough that I don't even want to use it on any of my mannequins. I've actually just prepared a little hair tress to try to comb it into, because even mannequins don't deserve this kind of treatment. There we go. Do I look cool? It's important. So I have my pre-peeled potato. It's wet. Maybe this is enough water to make it work. I don't know. But he described him slicing the potatoes thin and then pouring the lye on top of them. And that it turned into a gelatinous mix. I kind of figured that a mason jar would be too small for 2 potatoes, like it said in the autobiography, so I just did the 1. And I estimate this to be about 1/4 of a jar of lye. Man, I cannot imagine. I think it needs water. Now, anytime you're mixing something reactive, like in chemistry class, mixing something reactive like an acid or a base, this is a base, very strong base, with water, you're supposed to mix the base in with the water. So you start with the water, you add the base in, so don't look. Well, it's turning the potatoes yellow. The jar is sure hot, that's for sure. So in the book, it's described as being like gelatinous. It's not there yet, but it's getting there. Ooh, something's happening. The potatoes are kind of turning like translucent. I don't know if you can see this. They turned yellow, which is what was described. And now they're turning kind of translucent, which is good because he said it turned into like a jelly. And jelly's translucent. Oh yeah, that's really breaking down. Ooh, that jar is hot. The potatoes are like almost cooked. It is like a jelly. That's so gross. So this is my tress. I have some fairly curly hair. This is my comb that I don't care about. So after it turned into a yellow gelatinous goop, he describes his friend as stirring in with 2 potatoes. It was 2 eggs really fast. So since I did 1 potato, I'm just gonna do 1 egg. Got this egg from the chicken in my backyard this morning. Just kidding, I don't have chickens. I got it from the store. Oh my gosh, those potatoes are almost completely broken down. It's just this gelatinous mass. So my pro relaxer, anti-relaxer, I'm pro doing whatever the heck you want with your hair and being able to have the freedom to make your own choices. That's it. I probably will have some videos coming up in the future on relaxers. Honestly, they're fascinating chemistry. They're something that I work with on a regular basis, and I think that all stylists should be familiar with. It kind of smells like corn tortillas, which kind of makes sense. A lot of corn tortillas are processed with a small amount of sodium hydroxide too. I think it's egg time. We gotta stir fast. Whoa. It's like... I think maybe... And in the book, he describes him just combing it into his hair, because color brushes weren't really a thing back then either. I'll see you in just a couple minutes. So for you, it looked like a transition. For me, it looked like going and making another cup of coffee. And now I'm back. And before I turned the camera on, I went ahead and got out my pH strips. That's not even on brand for me to do this without testing the pH or something. Well, here's what we got. It's really high. We're looking at like a 13, 14, definitely something that I wouldn't feel comfortable putting on a human. It has not eaten through my comb, but we do need to like shampoo this out of the hair. Yeah, so this is bad. Bad. So basically the same thing that this did to the potatoes, this did to the hair. It's just breaking off and turning into jelly. That's really bad. So the moral of the story is don't make conch. Don't put it on your head. And thanks for watching and subscribing.